It's the Midnight Trucking Radio Network. Eric Harley here. I'm joined right now by Dr. Frank Cook, Senior Vice President of Blue DEF. How are you, Doc?
Doing good, doing good. Great show.
Welcome to the program. We appreciate you spending some time here. Let's talk about Blue DEF. We'll start with the basics and the product itself. For those who don't know, diesel exhaust fluid, an after-exhaust treatment necessary for SCR, selective catalytic reduction technology, which is now here in North America.
Correct.
And so, what do we need to know about this product? Give us some insight for those who are still new to DEF.
Well, of course, you have to go back and talk a little of the history, but the EPA, started rulemaking 20 years ago, clamping down particulate matter and NOx emissions on diesel vehicles.
Right.
And finally, with 2010, the regulations were so strict that some really different technology was required.
Yeah.
This started in Europe probably about 3-4 years ago, so we are very fortunate that we are learning from what went on over there.
Right.
But now, as of January 1st of this year, all new diesel-equipped vehicles will have this technology. There is one other out there, but it's not used quite as much, the advanced EGR.
Right. But the dominant technology used to meet these emission standards will be SCR.
Will be SCR, and of course it requires a fluid, which is a urea-based fluid that is injected into the exhaust, and then goes through a catalytic converter to convert the NOx to nitrogen and water.
Yeah, the technology overall has been pretty amazing. We're hearing from the OEMs on the SCR that we're seeing up to a 5% fuel efficiency gain, which is tremendous. And that has been, again, a bonus that I think that this industry really, really needed about right now, huh?
Yes, I think this is really the real key to why this is going to ultimately be successful is how rare is it in all the regulations since the EPA was created that they actually, a technology has been developed that only improves air quality but also is improving fuel efficiency as well.
Right.
So depending on the price of diesel and oil, certainly the fuel savings will pay for the fluid.
Yeah. Tell us about a Blue DEF and what sets it apart from the other DEF products out there.
Well, I mean, diesel exhaust fluid itself is the quality and the requirements are controlled by an ISO standard, International Standard Organization 22241 standard that was developed originally for Europe. So quite honestly, all the different diesel exhaust fluids you see out there from different folks are going to be the same.
Okay.
I mean, it's a very regulated product as far as its quality and its requirements. Our company, Old World Industries, has been around for 35 years. Our business model is very much to take a commodity chemical like glycol for antifreeze, methanol for windshield wash, blend it in strategic locations around the United States, and then have very efficient distribution. So although our product is probably the same as what everyone else will offer, I think our business model for getting it cost effectively delivered is really what will set us apart. Yeah,
and that's interesting. We've been watching the infrastructure build here in North America over the last 12-plus months, and it has been an interesting rollout. I remember just a few years ago, we were in our infancy stages, and the planning was still in place. But it seems like again, the infrastructure is there now. And most believe that once the demand starts to take off for the product in the third, fourth quarter of this year and then beyond in 2011 and on, it's going to be a pretty steep uphill climb as far as demand is concerned. Do you see that?
Oh, yes. This is very unique in all of our lifetimes. It's very rare that you sit here and literally see the birth of an industry.
Yeah.
And what it's going to require from distribution, from equipment, because all the equipment's unique to handle diesel exhaust fluid. You can't campaign it between oil and antifreeze and this product. It's unique only to it.
Right.
And if you look at diesel exhaust fluid is used at 2 to 4% of fuel.
Yeah.
And you just do the math of how much diesel fuel is used in the U.S.
Yeah.
This means that at maturity, when all the vehicles work their way through the system, this is going to be a 1 billion gallon a year market.
Wow. And it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah. And we're sitting here at the beginning of what's going to happen.
Let's talk about the packaging and how this is going to be available. The Blue DEF. First of all, the bulk, which will be the real the majority of it will be delivered in bulk, but it will also be available in the 330-gallon tote, the 275-gallon tote. The 55-gallon drum, depending on your operation, you're pretty much going to have it available. And then for the end user, of course, the 2.5-gallon bottles and the gallon bottles to have on board, and you're going to want to keep those in your truck just in case you get caught somewhere. So there really is a complete system to meet all the needs of every application and every level in the industry, right?
Yes, everybody is trying to decide on their own strategy of how they will refill their diesel exhaust fluid tanks. Some fleets are thinking about, well, we'll just have everybody refill at a truck stop.
Yeah.
Some fleets are thinking about, well, let's have them always refill at their base location, in which case they would have totes or tanks.
Right.
And then, of course, what's going to make this industry interesting, challenging, is it's going to start off with mostly packaged goods, totes, 55s, 2.5s, but eventually, 5 years from now, it's going to all be mini bulk systems, big tanks.
Right, interesting.
And everyone's going to have to make their own decision about when do we invest. You don't want to invest the capital so early that it's wasted, but you don't want to get behind it either.
You do not want to be caught behind.